really proud of his development. I mean, he's a guy he's athletic, he's physical, he's got some position versatility. He's really smart. Same thing. He's been here since January as well, so he doesn't look like a freshman, but he's a guy that definitely, for sure, can be a depth guy for us as a freshman.
How about Heaven Grounds, Chula? You have a sort of feel for him this year?
Oh yeah, we're just beating them two young guys up. I mean, they're getting a baptism out there, him and Champ. But we need them, so just grinding them up every day, trying to get them ready for this level of football.
Is Fazina
two talented young players, but just gotta bring them on.
Is Fazina coming out of this camp where you want him to be?
Man, he's way ahead of where I hoped he'd be. I'm really proud of him. He and Cade actually probably about 4 or 5 really good days in a row, and his ball placement. The game has really slowed down for him. Really proud of him. I mean, he's a big kid that can run, and he's very accurate. So it's been a good camp for him. I think he's coming out of it with a ton of confidence, and it's good for the team to be able to have confidence in him as well. I mean, he's made some big time plays, including a 2-minute touchdown drive today.
Yeah, Burning Stool, what have you seen from the tight end room these past scrimmages?
Yeah, all those guys making plays. It's one of the best rooms on our team. I mean, from top to bottom, all those guys can play. All of them. Banks Pope, you don't hear much about him, but he's a guy that down the line guy, but he brings a certain aspect to us, a little bit of a role guy as well. But man, Brenny had a big touchdown today. It was good he wasn't able to scrimmage the first scrimmage, so today was a big day for him. This whole week's been big for him. And then Saps had a great camp. Olsen had a big touchdown today. Great camp. Marcus Dixon has just been better and better. And then I tell you, Bentoncourt, man, he might be as good as kid as we've ever signed at that position. I mean, that's pretty strong praise. We got a strong room, but that kid he's gonna be a fun one. He's gonna be a fun one to coach and watch develop. He's just a natural player. And then, as I said, Banks is a guy that can fill a little role for us too. So it's a really good room. K. Rich done a great job putting that group together. It's deep. All of them have made strides, and we're gonna need them.
I know you said that nobody's gonna beat out Woodaz and Carter, but Sammy Brown, what do you envision his role?
He's gotten better. I didn't notice him this spring, honestly. I hardly ever noticed him. I didn't even know if he practiced most days, and that's because he had so much to learn. And when you don't know what you're doing or you're not confident in what you're doing, it's hard to really play fast and play physical. And I just noticed him more. That's the benefit of him coming in general. You got to understand, this is a kid that played every snap in high school, right? He played running back the whole game. He played linebacker. So it's not like you can only do so much. So now you come in and you start loading him up with a bunch of scheme, and it's a lot to learn. So I'm proud of him because he really worked his butt off this spring, this summer, this fall camp to really get more comfortable in what to do. And then so now he plays faster, he plays more physical, and he's just I see him every day. So I'm really proud of him. He's made a good and we actually held Barrett and Woodaz mostly today. They got some work, but we held them mostly for that reason. We wanted to see Kobe. We wanted to see D. We wanted to see Sammy. We wanted to see Jamal in a really highly competitive where they're having to get, they got to be the guys. And so that was good for them today and good for our defense to be able to, give them that opportunity. But Sammy's made a nice jump. He's not where he's going to be, but he's just wired the right way. He's a freaky dude when it comes to just who he is ability-wise, and so it's a good situation for him, to be able to have two guys like he's got in front of him to learn, to grow, and hopefully we'll be able to continue that and bring him along and be able to play him as we need and be a starter on special teams and get us good depth with the next 2 or 3 guys to be able to go in and play, and because those guys, they can't play the whole game. We gotta have good quality depth there, but we like the people we got.
Last year you talked about buying Clemson stock. Where would you say Clemson stock is at right now before the season?
Well, I mean, we're pretty consistent. I mean, we've had 13 years in a row, I think, where we finished top 20 or top 15. Some years top 5, top 10. We're pretty dang consistent. So, I mean, if you want to buy a stock, you want to buy one that's hot sometimes and then cold as a dead fish. We're pretty steady. So we're second winningest team in the country, 13 years. We're pretty steady, pretty consistent. Not perfect. We've had some little dip here or there, you know, but over the long haul, we're a pretty good stock. So I would say exactly what I said. I mean, I'd invest in them Tigers. I think we're going to be around for a long time. Got a lot of stability, a lot of continuity, and a great roster, great kids, great staff, you know, great administration, great fan base. There's always been a lot to like about Clemson. Ain't nothing changed.
With Adam Randall, I know Christian was talking about his leadership, maybe the best he's had since Amari Rodgers. What have you seen from him confidence-wise?
It's been great camp. Huge touchdown today, a 2-minute drive. He's just been steady, consistent, you know, playing with a lot of confidence. So same thing I said about Cade, just, you know, and that's really how he finished the year. That's how he finished the season. Those last 3 or 4 games, I mean, he just, you know, he looked like you expect him to look, and he's carried that over, and he's had a really good fall camp. So it's a good group, man. You know, Cole Turner has been awesome. He's made some huge plays. Tyler, Antonio, Salato wasn't able to go today, but hopefully we'll get him back next week. He was a little gimpy today, but that whole group has been really good. Wesco, you know, Tink made a couple big plays today. Noble made a big play today. We've talked about TJ, so it's a good group.
I guess the defensive end, anybody there flash other than, you know, Parker and Woods? Anybody?
Yeah, all those guys. I mean, they're all right there. Hoffler, Jaheim, Denhoff, you know, Armand is back, so it's a Caden Story. All those guys, we're creating some. Chris doing a good job trying to create some depth at that spot.
Anybody else?
Kind of along the lines that he was talking about stock and everything. You guys were 14 in the preseason AP poll. I think it's your first time outside the top 10 in 8 years or so. Just you're confident, but do you maybe appreciate it? What's it like to be maybe underrated for the first time? And I don't know.
Man, I don't pay no attention to that stuff. You know, I mean, I really don't. I mean, last time we were so-called outside, what was that, 15? We were 12,
so, yeah.
went to the national championship. And nobody was writing about all them predictions at that point. So, you know, 2011, I think we were picked 3rd or 4th in our league. And we won the league. So it's not about what people say, what people predict, what people write. It's about what we do. That stuff never matters. I mean, hey, I'm thankful that, you know, people see us as a good team, you know. Ain't nothing shameful about being a preseason top 15 team. You know, I'd rather be that and not be there. I mean, at least people see your program in a good light. But none of that stuff matters. I mean, you can look at the preseason top 25 every year, and there's usually 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them aren't even ranked at the end of the season. So, but nobody comes back and takes ownership of their great predictions and prognostications that they had before the season. It ain't about none of that. It's about just having a great year, trying to be the best we can be, and that's what we do year in and year out. Some years we've won championships, won this league 7 out of the last 9 years. Some years we don't. We've won national championships 3 times in 129 years now, 328 years. So, you know, we just try to just be the best we can, week in and week out, and control what we control. And you don't control what other people say or write or predict or any of that stuff. That's all just noise on the outside. What matters is how we prepare, how we think, how we practice,